I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com, and today I want to talk about feeling sorry for yourself. For me, feeling sorry for yourself is just such a negative energy suck. It just doesn't do you any good at all. Dale Carnegie said, I'll read this quote out, said, feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. That's Dale Carnegie, and I couldn't agree with it more. I mean, talk about something just totally screwing around with your self-confidence, your self-image, and taking away from your power to do stuff yourself, to take control of a situation. It's basically blaming something else, blaming something outside of yourself, blaming life, blaming the situation that you're in, for your present condition, for your present discomfort or whatever it is that you're going through, and it doesn't do you any good at all. Absolutely no good. What truly happens when you feel sorry for yourself is you diminish your ability to handle a particular situation, right? You've got to stay strong. You've got to maintain your confidence that you're heading in the right direction, that what you're doing with your life. Getting alcohol out of your life is a good decision, and if you feel sorry for yourself and start thinking, well, it's not my fault, it's the situation that I'm in, and life is unfair. It's sometimes life is fucking shit. Sometimes life isn't fair. Other times life is fair. That's just the way it is. You've got to get over yourself. You've got to realise that, in order to get through this and in order to push yourself on to the better things into your life, you've got to overcome this hurdle. And that's all alcohol is. It's a big hurdle in your life. It's a big obstacle that's standing in your way. You've got to forget how things are supposed to be, and concentrate your energies on how you can make the situation better. And the only way that you're going to make this situation better is to stop drinking, right? That's the only way you're going to do it. At the end of the day, your alcohol drinking habits are they're causing this problem, and the more you procrastinate, the more you try and find ways around this, the longer you're prolonging this whole process, and things are not going to get better. No matter how much drinking you do, no matter how much you think that I'll just drink for another day, drink for another week, I'll give up for the next week, or I'll give up after this, or I'll give up after that. That's never going to come. Those times are never going to come, because it's a lot easier to put things off than to actually do them today. And you're never going to be stronger. You're going to be weaker for it, because feeling sorry today sort of gives you license to put things off, and then you'll feel sorry again tomorrow, and that'll give you more license to put things off then. So you've got to just persevere, push through. Never forget that sometimes the things that cause you the most pain in life are the things that you learn the most lessons from. I can go back over many of the days that I've had since I've quit drinking, and the shit times, when I've thought about going back on booze, and I didn't, and pushed through the envelope and just got out the other side, and just thought to myself, well, I've managed to do that, and how did I deal with that? Well, by thinking about it, and by just, the biggest lesson is that is that alcohol never really did it for me, you know. I mean, it's like, I always thought, well, you know, at the end of the day, if I can have this drink now, if I can push through this this pain. Hello, Push. Pussycat. Chickies. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Loads of free-range chickens. Lovely. Yeah. Where was I? If I can push through the pain, I'll go back to where I was there a minute ago. The lesson that I learned most of all from quitting drinking and being able to go through these times of crisis in my life, or crisis, they're normally just trivial things that, you know, that's the way, you know, sort of our problems in Western society are very trivial and compared to some people, you know. We have to sort of, what's the old saying? I felt sorry for myself when I had no shoes until I came across a man with no feet. You know, that's life, isn't it? But the biggest lesson that I learned when I stopped using alcohol, and it was only after I stopped using alcohol that I learned this lesson, was that it never solved any of my problems. You know, drinking in reality only made problems worse. It's early in the morning here and there's so many cobwebs around. So the alcohol just made things worse, you know. At that time, it was sort of the instant gratification thing was great, you know, that having been able to take a drink and forget about things just in that moment. But I don't know what that was doing to my underneath, you know, to my psyche underneath, you know, to what I was actually, because I never felt, you know, especially when I was drinking on my own, I never felt happy about what I was doing. I felt quite sad, you know. It sort of heightened the emotion of being on my own, heightened. I knew underneath it all, you always know that, you know, you have to face into this problem sooner or later anyway, you know. And so I think it might mask things, but it doesn't hide the underlying fear, or whatever it is that you're trying to hide is still there. And you know it's going to be worse in the morning, you know. Might not be 10 times worse in the morning, but it's certainly going to be worse. And by degrees, and the more you ignore it, the more you drink to ignore it, especially, the worse the problem is going to get, because at the end of the day, you're diminishing your own capacity to handle these things. Feeling sorry for yourself is, you know, it's because you're focusing on very trivial things, you know. I mean, most of the time, you know, there are people in this world, you know. I remember a girl, tiny dancer, she was a young girl, she is a young girl, she survived, but she had cancer and stuff like that, and there was a Facebook page about her, and there was just so much positivity coming from her, you know, smiling faces despite all the crap that she was going through. She was, I think she was 7 or 8. You know, all the chemotherapy, and she'd lost her hair, the poor little mite. And, you know, every time you saw a post, a video, it was always with this little baldy girl smiling her head off, you know, and just, yeah. So it's only when you start seeing, you see some real shit in your life, you can appreciate it in other people's, I think, you know. Just when I look around today, and you look how privileged we are in the West, even poor people are privileged. You know, it's so-called poor people. It's only when you go to places like India, and, you know, it's all relative, I know that, but at the end of the day, it's focusing on what's wrong in your life, and there's so many good things in life. There's so many things in everyone's life to be grateful for, whatever that is, your health, your fitness, your fact that you've got a choice in things. You can make a decision, and you can sort of go, well, this is my choice to do it. It's always my choice to do this. It's always my decision. The fact that you can't look at these things. So, look, at the end of the day, the only way out of feeling sorry for yourself is to stop fucking feeling sorry for yourself, right? Just to say, well, what am I doing? It's like I'm a grown-ass adult here. In order to get through this situation, in order to get out the other side, I've got to push myself through, and I've got to put up with the discomfort. That's it, period. And I've got to do that. So there's no way around this. Focus on the positives. Focus on the fact that every day that you don't take a drink, you're getting further and further towards your new goal, right? Every day you don't take a drink, you're getting further and further away from the alcohol and towards a good life, a new life. Refocus your mind on the things that you can actually do to make a difference in your life. Refocus your mind on, that there are people in much, much worse situations than you, even in your own society. So at the end of the day, stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's totally counterproductive. You're not going to achieve anything by it, and you're totally sapping your energy. You're sapping your self-confidence, and you're sapping your abilities to do the things in your life that you want to do. You're just taking the power away from yourself. So that was probably one of the most rambly videos I've done for a while. I hope you got something out of that. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Come on over to the website and leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the newsletter, and until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for Alcohol Mastery. Onwards and upwards.